Welcome to Make It Happen Monday. Today I'm going to share tips for eating more beans. And the reason is because I consider beans the most underutilized economic superfood. We have loads of work to do in America in terms of bringing people up to speed and really taking advantage of beans. So some high points about beans, and one that I think is the most compelling, so I'm just going to tell you this one. If you look at a composite of the diets of the world's healthiest, longest living people, we call these the blue zones, they eat beans every single day, averaging 1 cup a day. In other words, beans are a dietary staple in the world's healthiest people. Paleos, you may want to make note of that. So, what are my tips for including more beans? First of all, keep them top of mind. If you have them sort of always kind of in your conscious when you're making food decisions, you will find that it will absolutely help you to increase your intake of them. You know, my recommendations are to strive to have a serving of beans each and every day. You may not do that, but if you have that as a goal and you keep them top of mind, chances are you will see that you start to do more of them. Remember that you can do beans in any form. Canned, fresh, frozen, or dried. Canned beans are incredibly convenient, which gets me to the next tip, which is to learn to just pop beans, and it can be canned beans you quickly rinse, pop them into your salads, into your soups, into your stews, into your rice dishes. Again, it takes no time. In 2 minutes, you can open a can of beans, rinse them, and pop them in these foods. They're neutral, so they kind of go with everything. They're neutral in their flavor, right? Don't forget about beans as your starchy side dish for your dinner meals. You know, in my house, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to have for my starch today. Maybe I don't have any sweet potatoes. Maybe I don't have any quinoa. Maybe I don't have any brown, whatever. And I'm like, I always have black beans, because I buy black beans by the case, as I do diced tomatoes by the case. And the main reason I do it is for that like emergency, I need a side starch dish. So you can take a can of black beans and you rinse them, and then a can of diced tomatoes, put that in a pot, spice it up, put a bunch of cumin, put some garlic in there, and any other maybe herb or spice that you want, and voila, great starchy, super healthy, tasty side dish. Think about doing beans as a main dish. Is a great way to have at least 1 meal a week if you're an omnivore that is meatless, right? Meatless Mondays, whatever you want to call it. It can be meatless Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, doesn't matter. And I have on my recipe is absolutely fabulous. This is my daughter Lucy's recipe. It is the carrot sesame burgers, but the base of those burgers are chickpeas, and there's a wonderful sauce that goes on top of those. They're absolutely delicious. Another one of my favorite sort of main dish bean meals would be Dr. Ann's super healthy bean salad. I love that recipe. It can also be a side dish, main dish, doesn't matter. But you need to check that recipe out also. Let's see, other tips for including more beans. Oh, this is a great one. When you're doing meat dishes, particularly like meatloaf or spaghetti sauce, do what I do. I always add a can of beans. I typically do black beans. I'm kind of partial to black beans. I just like their texture and their flavor. And it's a kind of a no-brainer. So what you do if you do that, you're going to jack up the nutritional value of that meal significantly. You know, why are beans great? They have more fiber, they have folate, they have a full spectrum of minerals, they have a low glycemic response. You're going to jack up the nutritional oomph of that meat dish, and at the same time reduce its caloric density. Does it get better than that? That's a win-win, as they say. And the other thing it can do is it kind of stretches out your meat dollars. You know, meat is not a cheap thing, but beans are, they are the most economical of any superfood you could eat. So take advantage of that tip. And the point is, just eat more beans. Thank you.